to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is your mic on? Okay, Commissioners, we have the agenda before us. Any changes by fellow Commissioners? Staff?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a recommendation to remove action item number 7. We do not have any local bars this meeting.
Okay, any other changes, Mr. Aragon? Need a motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
I vote yes, it is approved. Okay, we have one set of minutes from our July 1st business meeting. Any changes to those meetings by Commissioners or staff? There being none, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
I abstained. They are approved. Okay, we have a couple people on here for public hearing, for public comment. And I think we all figured it out. If it's public hearing, we'll get to those items when the public hearing items comes up. So please don't feel the need to speak on that subject matter while we're here. Again, just a reminder for everybody, the 3-minute time limit, everybody presents their comments, concerns to the commission. There's going to be no outbursts or applause or anything from the audience while we're doing public comment. And other than that, we should be good to go. So first one up is Sharon Smith.
My name is Sharon Smith, and I would like to make the fact that the road signs in Las Matavitas and Rio communities are in horrible condition. There's no road signs on many, many roads. And I will tell you, I had an uncle die because they didn't get there soon enough. And the same issue. I called Rio Communities Fire Department dispatch, told them that my uncle was having some really, really strange effects. And they said, fine. 45 minutes later, and we only live 5 miles away, 45 minutes later, they called me and said, we can't find your street. They were in Rio Communities. Dispatch did not tell them Casa Colorado. That took them another 15, 20 minutes to get to us and another hour to get to the hospital. He died 2 days later. This has got to be corrected because people don't realize the numbers on their houses or on the curbs or on the mailboxes are their responsibility. But it is, I believe, the county's responsibility to make those name signs on those streets get up there so that there is no confusion about where they're at and get service to them quicker. It's very sad that we have to ask the county to go out there and look at it. The roads are in bad condition in both counties, but Rio Communities is the worst. It has horrible roads, horrible signs. We need to get it taken care of before someone has a problem. And then there's a lawsuit. I didn't sue. I chose to make it a learning experience. And I did tell them what happened. They're very sorry, but it didn't bring them back. So I'd like you to please look into it seriously so that we can get safer service from our authorities. Thank you.
Okay, next one is Leonard Sanchez.
Mr. Chair, and
State your name for the record.
yes, Leonard Sanchez, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. I'm here actually With regard to one of the action items, item number 11, I'm not clear what the current status of it is. I've been in contact with the county attorney, Mr. Nance, regarding it. It's, in particular, it's item 11 regarding the vacation of a public road off of Jaramillo Road. This road provides the sole public access to property that we own. The applicant, which I understand may be withdrawing his application, is currently blocking the road. He's strung wire across the public road, blocking our access to our property. And again, it is the only public access to the property. I would urge that the commission appointed a road commission who determined that the road should be maintained and that it was necessary for access to the property. I would urge the commission to adopt that road report, and also I would request that the commission, either through the county attorney or otherwise, send a cease and desist order letter to the the property owner who is blocking access to the public road. You know, we've been through quite a bit with this whole process. He was claiming it was part of his property. It's clearly a public road. It was never part of his property. He's told members of the County Public Works Department that the culvert installed by MRGCD was removed. It, in fact, is still there. The story keeps changing, and I would, again, we're being blocked from crossing a public road to access our property because he has strung wire across it, and when it's been removed, he just puts it right back up. And so I would urge the commission to adopt the recommendation of the road commission, and also request that you send a cease and desist letter to the individual who filed the application. Thank you.
Okay, Susie Hicks?
Hi, Commissioners. Thanks again for listening to me. I know that you've heard this story over and over, but what I'm presenting to you is the map of our easement to our homes in Los Chavez Acres. This was made in 1983. We have driven on this easement since April of 1983. Mr. Chavez, that owns the horseshoe, is wanting to block this. That is our main interest, in and out. That is safe. Going through Allsup Circle on the south side is not safe. For years, the county maintained the road, would do a courtesy blade. And so that stopped, and my husband at the time would blade the road, borrow a tractor and blade the road. Well, I lost him, and so for 2 years, nothing happened to the road. The road was so bad that literally you could hide a car in the mud because it was so bad. I contacted our county commissioner. He came out to my house. He got in touch with Lena, with the road department, and because of his help, we were able to get this road, our road. All of us paid for Horn Drive. Mr. Chavez paid for Allsup Circle to be redone. And now he's wanting to close this, and that is our main entrance. As you can tell on the map, it is an easement that has served us since 1983. I purchased our property in March of 1983, moved in April of 1983. So what I'm asking is for this not to be blocked. One thing that I did do with Lena, she told me when I took her the check from the people in our neighborhood that paid for the road, that Mr. Chavez was going to want to block that. And I told her, I said, that can't be. And she told me at that time that she has no control over that is not anything the county has control over. So what my question is, if the county has no control over this, why are we having to bring it to the commission? Why are you guys having to waste your time to listen to us over something that isn't even supposed to be dealing with the county, if that is a private easement and it always has been? So I asked you guys again to please consider this and not close off the north side of Allsop Circle, because that is our safest way in and out. People getting hurt and killed going outside of the south side of Allsop's. So thank you again for your time, and I hope you consider looking at this. And thank you, Commissioner, for your help with the road.
Next, we have Rachel Hicks.
Budgets. Okay. Hi there, my name is Rachel Hicks, and to follow up on what my mom just said, we are here to address action item number 10 on your agenda for this evening, about the closure of our private easement known as Allsop Circle. I'm going to try my best not to repeat the things that I've already said, it being a safety issue and so on. I want to follow up on what my mom mentioned about a conversation with our Director of Public Works. Last June was when we approached the road department to fix our road because it was atrocious. I drive a big truck, it has a tight suspension, and it's like going to the chiropractor when we were driving over it. So fast forward, we did get it fixed. It's an awesome road now. We have no complaints. But during that time, that conversation that we had with the Director of Public Works, we were out walking the neighborhood and we were measuring fence lines. And she suggested that we deed over the easement to the county. That way the county could have access to it and maintain it and so on. As a group of neighbors that were in that conversation, we let her know that that is not what we wanted. We wanted to keep it as a private easement. We did not want to make it, we did not want to deed over that, the small amount of property that we've given up for this easement to the county. That being said, after seeking legal advice, I have been informed that this is a civil matter, that it is something that the property owners need to get together and discuss, which myself and the other neighbors have agreed to meet with the owner of the Horseshoe and come up with a solution, that this isn't something that should probably have come in front of the county commissioners, that it is an issue between private property owners. I was also advised that if this private easement has been in use for more than 10 years, that it's basically null and void, that it isn't something that can be closed unless all of the property owners agree to it, and that agreement has to be in writing. So in regards to action item number 10, if we can, I guess, dismiss that, or however that is that you handle that on your end. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Tafoya.
Good evening, County Commissioners and Mr. Chair. I'm speaking on behalf of my grandmother, Nellie Arteaga, who also lives on Horn Drive. She is 94 years old, and she receives a lot of health care, deliveries and such. And so what she's requesting is not to close the easement as well, because it actually is a safer area for them to come through that, the south side. North side is kind of dangerous. There's apartments there, and there's a lot of children that play out there. And so a lot of times that's the whole reason why none of us usually drive that route. We usually drive the north side. But she's asking for your consideration. She's lived there most of her life, and she's, it's just always been a part of her property line. So for the safety and concern of like the ambulance that needs to go back there, or for the disabled, access for like the there's like this bus that comes through to pick up like seniors to take them places, and they've said that they won't be able to do that. So my grandma Nellie sometimes will have to use that service, and if they're not able to go pick her up safely, just because that road is closed, that's not really good, like to take away services that are already there for elderly people as well. So I just ask you to please, you know, take a field trip and kind of go look at the area yourself. To close it won't benefit the whole community just because of the venues that take place on maybe a Saturday. I just don't see it being beneficial to the whole community there at this time. So we're just asking for your consideration to take the time to go and just check it out for yourself so you can see how unsafe it would be to close that easement. Thank you.
The next one, I can't decipher the last name, but it looks like the first name is Belinda. Belinda?
This is about the solar array.
Okay, perfect. We'll get to that then when we have that action item. Thank you. Next is Dr. Gail Goodman.
As many times as I do this, it's always scary. Okay, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Dr. Gail Goodman. I live in Los Chavez. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I don't know whether owning a pet is a right or a privilege, but I do know that owning a pet comes with responsibilities. One responsibility is to the animal to care for it humanely. The other responsibility is to the public not to take away their rights. I think that's why we have animal ordinances. Rabies is a dangerous disease, and it has been understood for centuries that dogs can carry rabies, and if they bite a person, the person can die. I think that dog licenses came about to prove a dog was vaccinated against rabies. I also seem to remember that the state statute requires dogs to wear a collar with their rabies tag when off the owner's property. The dog license is proof that the dog is protected from rabies and that the public is protected if bitten by the dog. In this context, the license is an important safety tool for animal control agencies. However, in the context Commissioner Bizel is seeing the dog license, it has become a tax for owning a pet. Certainly the non-neutered dog license of $150 is exactly that, a tax, and it discourages all pet owners from purchasing proof of rabies licenses. A minimal license fee, which proves current rabies vaccinations, should be the same for all pet owners. All Valencia County animal control fees need to be reassessed. In my opinion, the current fee schedule is responsible for many animals that get out of their yards and run at large, not being reclaimed. People can't afford the fines. Non-neutered license fee, $150, impound fee, $50, so $200. Even if neutered, impound fee is $50. When the county fee schedule was changed years ago, the animal rights groups promised they would provide fencing if we banned chaining. Where are the fences? We banned chaining, we increased the license and impound fees, all to punish owners. All we got are more animals running at large and fewer owner reclaims. Affordable dog licenses as proof of rabies vaccination is a useful safety tool. Punitive fee dog licenses and impound fees are a tax that overwhelmingly hurt the animals. This issue needs further study by our animal control and our commissioners. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Tracy Hart.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Dr. Tracy Hart, and I live inside El Cerro Loop. First, I would like to thank Commissioner Bizel for attending our neighborhood meeting about the East Side Road expansion on June 18th. Showing up matters, listening matters, having difficult conversations face-to-face matters. At that meeting regarding the commission, Commissioner Bizel said, "We are not your enemy." I agree, the commission is not our enemy, and we are not yours. But neither of us is here to be friends or adversaries. We each have responsibilities. Your responsibility is to make decisions that serve Valencia County. Ours is to speak up when those decisions affect our homes, our community, and our future. Let me be clear. We do not oppose addressing current traffic problems. We do not oppose planning for future growth. We understand that Valencia County must plan intentionally and responsibly for increasing traffic demands. What we oppose is the current approach of routing a major east side expansion through the heart of El Cerro Loop. Instead, we ask you to focus on the roadways that already function as major traffic corridors, particularly North El Cerro Loop, maybe even South El Cerro Loop. It already carries significant traffic, it has higher speed limits, no speed bumps, and serves the transportation function this project seeks to address. If additional capacity is needed, then improve the established routes, fix them, expand them, move more traffic through the existing corridors for that purpose, rather than cutting through a rural, residential, and agricultural community. We are often described as passionate. That's true. We are passionate because this is our home. We are homeowners, landowners, families, farmers, gardeners, and small business owners. We have children, animals, crops, and investments that represent years, decades of work and commitment. Passion is not the opposite of reason. Our concerns are both passionate and practical. We are not asking for you to stop planning. We are asking for you to plan better. We are not your enemy. We are your constituents. We are your neighbors. And we stand together passionately, respectfully, and strategically in opposition to routing the east side expansion through El Cerro Loop. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sam Adams?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Sam Adams. I also live in between the North and South El Cerro Loops in the Ponderosa Farms community. I'm here tonight to speak regarding the Los Lunas Boulevard East Side Extension project. While we all know that the final connection to Highway 47 is still a few years out, what we need to do is act now to protect our local neighborhoods. We need immediate traffic surveys that are conducted across both Otero and Arona roads, possibly Fire Station and some of the other small roads there. Crucially, these surveys are necessary now before the traffic is coming through, dumped out where Hyde Road currently comes out, because the closest spot that goes through is Otero Road. That road is not designed for that kind of traffic, even if only a percentage of people decide to take that. It's already pretty much at capacity. I want to encourage you to require a survey and require that any action, even if it is the no build with the infrastructure emphasis on the North and South El Cerro Loops, includes a requirement that infrastructure is built to mitigate speed, to reduce traffic by making it uncomfortable to drive through a very small neighborhood road to get to the backside of the loop. And I think that waiting until that traffic comes out on 47 to do those surveys is too late. And then you're being reactive instead of proactive. And any survey would see currently that the state of the road will not handle the kind of traffic that it's going to see. So I'm going to continue kicking the horse until it's probably glue. And I will keep saying the same thing, and hopefully at some point see that you've taken some action to do a survey of the current traffic conditions. Thank you.
Next we have Tamara Arnson.
Good evening, Commission and Chairman. My name is Tamara Arneson, and I, along with my husband, Dennis Chavez, we own the event venue in question, the Horseshoe. I stand before you. This is a very, very complicated situation, and first of all, I'd like to say I respect each and every one of my neighbors and their feelings on this road closure. And this is in no way like meant to be any kind of argument between my neighbors and us. This is actually an issue of strictly safety. We do have, for example, on Friday night last week, we hosted an event for the Berlin football team. And they sold 150 tickets and there were 300 people there. Well, it raised an incredible amount of money for that community. We do several of those kinds of events throughout the year. And we marry people there. My neighbors asked several years ago that there was not another bar put there like the quote unquote Wild Pony. I have respected their wishes 100% and tried not to operate a liquor establishment that would cause them a lot of problems. The situation that I stand before you that I'm faced with, however, is the safety of that parking lot now. And that easement, because it is still an easement, allows, we have bought on the north side of the property, as I'm sure you all have maps in front of you. We also own on the south side of the property. Well, when we park cars in that parking lot, and then all of a sudden somebody comes off 314 and they come racing through that parking lot, that presents a huge safety hazard. We also get several transients that find their way through there. We have in that other building that is to the north side that used to be the taxi cab business, that's at 4631 Highway 314, we've actually had people move in there and try to live in there. That roadway just creates a huge, huge safety concern. Lena did have, Ms. Benavides did have a traffic study done, which I'm sure a road report that you all have in front of you that highlights several reasons for these findings. That is why we intend to pursue trying to close this road, whether it be private or whether it be part of the county easement. But we definitely intend to try to close it for the safety concern of the community. Because if I have a family trying to get to their car and they're trying to get their little kids in their car, and because that land actually stands private, then I'm responsible for what happens there. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Juan Chavez. Juan Chavez.
Hello, Commission. I wanted to also, I'm coming for you for the same reason, the all sub-circle issue. It's really just comes down to the fact that it's a huge liability for us as the business owners owning both properties on each side. And also the fact that we have gone through and let me regroup. What we need to do is we need to shut the road down and focus on getting medical or fire or safety or whoever else to come in from the south side and properly go through there on the back road and on the Horn, what is it, Horn Road?
No, it's also circle.
No, Horn Road, the one on the back?
Yeah, that's the one.
Horn Road. There's ways to put cul-de-sacs back there as well to get EMS, whoever in there. And really, what the main focus is to take commercial property and separate it from residential. That's the biggest issue right here. There's nowhere in the county that you drive through 2 commercial lots to get to a residential neighborhood. It's just not like that. So we need to fix it so that way it's better for all the residents that live back there, which are people that we also, because we have a couple houses on the backside in the residential neighborhood, and to keep those families safe and everybody else. So I would like you guys to look it over. I don't even know if it's going to fall under this or how it's going to go, maybe get tabled today. But either way, it needs to get mitigated to where commercial stays away from the residential. And that's my piece.
And then last we have Sky Nieto. There's Sky.
Hello, how you doing? My name's Sky Nieto. I'm a renter on a property of 4631 Allsop Circle, so I'm at the pitch point of the turn in the north circle. So what I experienced through my 6 years of there, there's many times where my son almost got hit a couple times because of cars. There's no speed limits on there. There's no post limit. So we do get a lot of cars that just come through that circle, just come through that pinch point blind turning. I also drive a trailer. I go through that as well. But also is that when a couple of times there's that Metro Real bus that picks up people in that same circle, that little pinch point of Allsup's circle right across where I live at. It does block the road for some time, and a couple times where I can't get through. And there's times where I can't get through, but there's also, because I drive a small car, I don't drive a big truck or anything like that, I can't see another vehicle coming through. A couple times I had almost a head-on collision just because of that little area. And what I'm thinking is that if there's a cul-de-sac, maybe in that Allsup's northern area, close that off, make it a cul-de-sac where it's about, you could turn a trailer, a EMT, emergency vehicle, any type of vehicles. I want to see a problem closing it. But other than that, from the safety point of, like, I've lived there for 6 years, a couple times, more than once, that I've had almost head-on collision accidents, or my son, or there's also Can-Ams that just rip through that paved road that we just got finished. And sometimes I can't do nothing because there's no posted limit signs or anything, so it's dangerous all around. But I could see an issue with if you have a big horse trailer, like a 40-footer, it could be an issue. But also, it's still a tight pinch because you got to go around a little bit around. If anybody drives a truck, you know what you got to do. But if that's just closed off and make a cul-de-sac, you don't have to be like on the horn. That could be a good spot too. It could be both sides of the street, be a cul-de-sac, make it a safe area for all. And also for our children that live there. And a real bus could go make that turnabout in the cul-de-sac facing south on Allsup's. It doesn't hinder anything. It's just people, we just get used to it. For years, decades, it's just been, but times are changing, and like there's a business that's running through it, and I've seen a couple of times where a car coming off a horn, just hauling butt, going through Allsup's. I have it on my front dash cam or my front camera. It could be dangerous, especially when I saw a couple of kids running across the road. They have the cones there to block the differentiate the parking from the road. A couple times scared me. A couple times where I seen kids just running across on my camera. I'm like, oh, but it's just, it is what it is. My concern is not going in and out because I don't mind going, sorry. But thank you, gentlemen, for your time, and I hope everything ends well for everybody. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is discussion items. Anything to report, commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I'd like to thank the chief for our fire department and county manager. It's always good, excuse me, when we can help other communities across the state. And right now we've got our fire department, we've got our big swamp buggy rescue where the flooding is out there in Zuni. And it's good to see Valencia County stepping up to the plate and helping everybody across New Mexico when they need help, because it seems like our fire department is always there to pick up the slack. So I want to make sure our fire department and everybody knows that they're doing a wonderful job, and they're trying to keep everybody safe as much as possible in the state of New Mexico.
Commissioner Aragon, anything to report?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, commissioners. I have one bit of business to go over tonight. It's very exciting. But I'd like to introduce our brand new finance director, Misty Witt. She is joining us. She's got a lot of county experience. She's been with us a few short weeks. I'm sure for her it seemed long because we're throwing a lot at her, but she is getting right into it. We plan to have a nice budget workshop for you next week with the acceptance of a final budget. And I don't know, Misty, would you like to say anything? But very, very good time working with Misty so far. Very grateful for her coming on.
Thank you, County Manager, Commissioners. Just it's a pleasure to meet you all. I look forward to working with you. I have a heart for New Mexico. I've been here since 2010, so I wasn't born and raised here, but I'm a New Mexican by choice. So I'm very excited to serve the community and serve with you all.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll take it easy on you tonight because it's your first time. Awesome. If there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and move on. We have a presentation tonight of our 2026 Valencia County Summer Internship. Our presenters tonight are Karina and Luciano, if you guys don't mind coming up.
As well as Rustin and Gabe.
We're good.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This evening, we want to recognize the successful completion of our 8-week Youth Summer Enrichment Internship Program here at Valencia County. Over the past 2 months, our interns have gained valuable hands-on experience, developed new skills, and discovered what it means to be part of a professional workplace. This program has been about much more than just work. It's been about building confidence, learning responsibility, exploring career pathways, and preparing for future success. Each intern should be proud of the commitment and growth that they have demonstrated throughout the summer. At this time, I will turn it over to Karina and Luciano. They want to talk a little bit about their experience and how the summer went for them.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Our names are Luciano Padilla and
Karina Dueñas.
and Ezekiel Garcia. We are the 2 project managers for the Valencia adoption event. This originally was a hypothetical project plan made by Education at Work. When we were originally told about this project, our coordinators pitched in the idea of an animal adoption event. We moved forward with the idea and started by brainstorming as a group. After discussing and having a rough idea of what type of event we wanted to plan, we then assigned team roles.
This helped us filter through which work to assign to each department. We then proceeded to come up with a rough plan and discuss finer details. Following that, we proposed our fixed plan to our coordinators, who then briefed us on the logistics of it. After that, we were introduced to different connections we could make. So like, for example, the animal shelter and the fire department who could help us. And after we talked and discussed with them, we sort of refined our work according to their suggestions. Along this point, in creating the event, our coordinators stated the project we were creating would become a real event. We started planning more accordingly and following up with proper budgets, shift schedules, and scheduling different food trucks to be there for the event. Continuing, we proceeded to publicate our event through social media.
The day of the event, the animal shelter and the fire department helped us by setting up for the event, as well as providing the animals. The food trucks helped bring in the public, and some dogs were adopted.
We'd like to thank Valencia County and our coordinators for this possibility. It was a fun experience, and we appreciate the opportunity of making and participating in such an event. Thank you, Commissioners, for your time.
Thank you. Commissioners, anything to say?
Actually, so with this event that you guys put on, are you guys actually going to put it on? Is the animal shelter going to help you put this event on?
We actually did this event this past Friday, or this past week, and we were at the Daniel Fernandez Park. We had around 3 food trucks there. We had the fire department there helping us out with the dogs and whatnot. We had like a couple of puppies and just dogs in general there. We moved them from the animal shelter ourselves, and we put them back ourselves also, while keeping the park also cleaned and safe. And I feel like that project helped us out and like opened us to different opportunities that could actually help us in the long run. So I feel like it was like a success. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You guys good? Have a little bit more.
All right, go for it.
We would like to extend a special thank you to Education at Work for their incredible partnership, support, and guidance throughout this program. Their dedication to developing our young workforce has made a lasting impact. We especially appreciate the engaging weekly career readiness labs, which equipped our interns with essential professional skills from communication and teamwork to resume building, interviewing, and workplace etiquette. So at this time, we would like to give, we have a couple of representatives from Education at Work, Mr. TJ Peliquin and Ms. Grace Viviano, if they would like to say a few words.
Thank you. We are with Education at Work, who is operating this summer internship program this year. We're a nonprofit, and we've been sort of coordinating the internship program with the help of all the counties in New Mexico. And a lot of the departments here hosted interns. So we just want to thank everyone that had interns this summer, thank the interns themselves for participating in the program, and we just really appreciate all of you.
Yeah, and we again thank you for your time today, and we look forward to another great summer next year as well, and we hope you guys will all join us again, and we look forward to working with you all again.
Thank you. Jonathan, do you have anything to add?
Mr. Chair, it's always bittersweet to see these interns time in with us. You know, I truly like to thank the interns themselves for the constant professionalism that they show throughout the summer. They're very helpful with anybody that walks through the door. They may be part of, you know, animal control or HR, but if another department asks for their help, though, they're more than willing. We got our basement cleaned out like pretty heavy this summer. We did, you know, some major things, and they're ready to go with any task that was asked of them. They all got along really well. You could see towards the end of this summer of their time with us, you know, the first meeting I went, and it was crickets in this room when we were trying to get them to talk with each other. And you know, by their last meeting, they were very lively and had good relationships with each other, and they're kind of breaking out of their shells. So I know several of these youngins that are in the room with us today. It's not their first summer with us. So we'd like to see, you know, maybe those first timers come back next year. But yeah, it's just a great program, and hopefully we can continue to go down that path and even expand it, because it is something that Valencia County really values, having the students here over the summer and watching them grow through that process. So thank them. Definitely thank the coordinators in Valencia County for doing such a good job working with them and keeping them on task. But you know, it's really is a nice, like I say, a breath of fresh air having young folks around the county building, because you don't always see that. It's usually, you know, people paying their taxes or whatever. So it's nice to have these kids, you know, take on this learning experience of the adoption event and take it not just as a hypothetical plan, but actually put it into a real life experiment and it going well. So thank you guys, and definitely thank the student interns this summer, and also y'all for working with us as well.
Yeah, and Commissioner, if I could just add to that, all the Valencia County staff as well for their time and patience with these interns. I think, you know, it helped them a lot. It helped the staff develop some too. So I just want to thank all of the staff in the county too as well.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of, and I think everybody else on this board has heard nothing but positive things. So thanks for representing Valencia County well, and thanks for doing a hard job this summer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Before we move on to action items, there's one last discussion piece I forgot. It is posted on our doors outside. I believe it's also on our website. But Friday, July 24th, from 8 a.m. to noon, the county will be open, but we'll be taking down our computer to do some upgrades and maintenance, and it may take that entire morning. So, like I said, staff will still be here. We'll be doing other things, but just so folks know, if it relates to needing the computer, there may be an issue with that, just for that Friday morning.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Item 8, approval of a resolution. State bars. Ms. Witt, you're up.
Thank you again, Commission Chair, Commissioners. You promised to take it easy, but I'm on the first action item, so I don't know how easy that feels.
I am glad to be giving this up to you, Misty.
So what you have in front of you is a state bar. This is for the fiscal year 2026. This is done in compliance with the DFA regulations, but basically it's a long bar, but it's to close out our fiscal year 26. So we're working towards just making all of those final adjustments to be able to do our final reporting to DFA.
You recommend approval?
Yes.
Any questions for Ms. Witt, Commissioners? Yes, sir.
Is there anything significant to point out, or all pretty?
It's pretty standard. The majority of the adjustments are to record actual revenue that we received. So we were under budgeted for a lot of revenue, which is a good problem to have. So a lot of the adjustments are to bring that revenue up. There are a few items on there that are temporary loans from general fund to the grant funds, and that's just while we await reimbursement from the state and various entities. But that makes up the majority of the budget adjustment. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, Commissioners? Your motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bazell, seconded by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-47.
All right, next action item, approval resolution amending the Valencia County Animal Control Fee Schedule. Mr. Weston.
Chairman and Commissioners, real quick before we start, I'd also like to touch on the interns. The adoption event was awesome. They had a really good public turnout, education and outreach. The interns did really good this year, so I know most of them are probably already left, but they did an awesome job. We get about 10 of them every year, and I love seeing them in our facility and seeing the youth get some involvement in our program. So with that being said, off of Commissioner Bazell's direction, we reviewed our fee schedule. We are proposing a new amendment to the schedule. Exempt animals that are sterilized are exempt, and everything else staying the same. Mr. Pato, you have anything to add to that?
No.
I think that's, we stand for your approval. We recommend approval.
Any questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chair. So first of all, I just, with this, you know, I love what the animal shelter is doing. They're trying to help the people, but my philosophy on this was the people that are actually trying to do the good thing, we need to make sure that we're trying to help everybody out. And after having discussions with the attorneys and Jess, you know, this is not going to hurt the animal shelter. Those funds were going into the general fund. We do want to curb the animals that are just running wild, you know, and people that aren't taking care of their animals, and you know they're out there breeding. That those are the animals that are going into the shelter, and we don't want to sit there and have those euthanized. But we want to try to help people that are trying to do the right thing by having their dogs spayed and neutered. So we thought it would be better to just sit there and not charge it. And so if you're getting your dogs having their rabies shots, getting the stuff neutered and spaded, doing what you can, we as the county want to try to help you to make it easier and try to entice people to actually do get their dogs spayed and neutered and get their dogs vaccinated. So if you guys are willing to do that, we don't want to charge you. Right, Jess?
Correct, Commissioner. And we do help with those individuals. Say we do pick up somebody's dog that isn't fixed, and as Dr. Goodman stated in her public hearing or her public comment, you know, it's a minimal $200 fee to come get your animal. If they're willing to get that animal fixed, we will provide that service through our spay and neuter clinic that we provide. We're waiving fees of that, try to get animals or residents to come into compliance, try to help the animal. Fencing, dog houses, dog food, shelters, any aspect of animal ownership, we're trying to help the public and help the animals in our community.
Thank you.
Sure.
So will there still be an animal license for sterilized animals, just no fee?
Correct. We use that as the aspect to check the rabies verification.
And how are we doing some kind of outreach to try to get that done? I mean, there's a bunch of people don't even know about it, right?
At the end of the day, as I discussed with you guys, with the commission last time I was in front of you, right now we're using it as an enforcement tool. We can definitely step up our day-to-day operations and work on an inventory aspect of it, but we don't use it as an inventory aspect. We're doing an enforcement and rabies verification tool right now at this point.
I think Dr. Goodman had a good point. You know, it's a good way to ensure that an animal has got a rabies vaccine. If we do have a county, animal license, we should work to get that widespread to everybody to have that license. I mean, it would help us have records of everything that is vaccinated. Just this question just came into my mind. When you adopt animals, when you adopt them out and after you do the neuter and whatnot, do they go out with a license?
They do. And we also, depending on where the animal's adopted at, so if they say they live in the city of Belen or the village of Los Lunas or city of Albuquerque, I mean, we ship them out all across the country, to be honest with you. We inform those individuals that are taking those animals out of our community into other outlying communities that there's a licensing requirement in those communities also.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
So to touch on that, myself and Jess and Dave were also talking with IT about doing like an online submittal where they could, if they get their license and or their rabies shots and stuff, they can upload their documents and not even have to come in. We're looking at trying to make it as simple as possible to make sure that everybody doesn't have to come in, and they're working on that to see if it's feasible.
Chairman and Commissioners, I have reached out to our data provider that houses all of our information and the service that we use, and they are working on that also.
Anything else, Commissioners? If there being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Bazell? Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved. Thank you.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-48.
Okay, item 10, acceptance of road bureau's report and consideration of the vacation of Alsop Circle. Ms. Benavides.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. I'm here to report the recommendation of the road viewers for the vacation of track 25A1, A6, and track 25A1, A9. A total of the Wild Pony subdivision, also known as 455 Highway 314, and also known as Alsop Circle. We do have the applicant here. I know they spoke during public meeting, but I didn't know if you guys had questions or wanted to hear from them again, or if you just wanted me to read the reviewer's report, recommendation.
If you could just read their recommendation.
Sure. The road reviewers determined that the vacation of this section of Alsop Circle located at near 4555 Highway 314 should be approved. The existing roadway configuration includes a dangerous curve within the loop where visibility is limited for vehicles traveling around the bend, creating a potential safety hazard. Due to the commercial zoning designation C2 and the nature of activities occurring at 4555 Highway 314, approval of the roadway vacation would be in the best interest of the public safety by helping to reduce the likelihood of traffic accidents, particularly during events held at the property is expected to generate with increased traffic volumes. The road viewers also recognize the requester's intent to construct a cul-de-sac to accommodate emergency vehicle
and access moving within the area.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Benavides? Yes.
So Lena, when we did this, the road improvements, of course, Mr. Chavez paid for the Allsup Circle, then the other residents paid for that. And this because it is not a public road. Is that correct?
It is not a county-maintained road.
Not a county-maintained road?
It is platted as an easement.
Okay. And do you know if that's a private or a public easement?
Commissioner Burry, if I could answer that. The easement, the platted easement does not reflect whether or not it's private or public. It just says 40-foot easement.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I mean, I don't want to interrupt the questions. I think that this matter as real property would probably be best if we were to move it into executive session, if you so desire.
I'm assuming that's a motion to move it to executive.
It would be to, yeah.
Any other questions for the woman?
The action will still be there.
I got a question for legal, I guess. If this is, in fact, a private easement, as a couple of the public comments suggested, is road vacation even the county's responsibility, or is it our place to do that?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Richardson, it seems like there was a question of fact as to whether or not it is a private or a public easement. I will say this, the action by this board to vacate it would serve almost like a quitclaim deed. It would say the public no longer has a right to utilize that road. And so whether or not it is a private or a public, it would serve as that sort of quitclaim of any interest that the public had to use that road. So I'm not sure if that squarely answers your question, but it does in a sense.
Yeah, clear as mud.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I believe the applicant is here. Can we listen to their proposal?
So we're not going to do that because we're not going to do it for the next vacation recommendation. So we had our opportunity during public comment to do that, and that's why we left it there. We're just going to stick to this since it's not a public hearing matter. Any other questions? There being none, what are the wishes of the commission?
Commissioner? Yes. I'd like to move this to executive session so that we can have an in-depth conversation with legal.
Second.
Motion and second made. Any discussion on the motion? Second. There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry? Yes. And I vote yes as well. We'll move it to our executive session. All right, action number 11, acceptance of road viewers report and consideration, the vacation of 35 Jaramillo. Ms. Benavides.
Again, I'm here to present the recommendation of a road viewers request for the vacation of an unnamed public road, tract 114, also known as 35 Jaramillo Road. The road reviewers did evaluate the unnamed public road located at 35 Jaramillo. It was determined that the road is a public road and may provide access to the property located on the west side of the ditch. I'm sorry, my apologies, the east side of the ditch. It also determined that the road should remain public and there is no known ownership of the roadway. And according to the assessor's records, the requester does not pay property taxes on the easement. Since I've submitted this for your consideration, the applicant has withdrawn his request.
Any questions for Ms. Benavides?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So, Lena, what about I don't know if you were here earlier, but him stretching wire across the road to stop people?
I'm working with the attorney on how we're going to proceed with that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners? There being none, what are the wishes of the commission? There being no motion, there will be no action on this item. Action item number 12, consideration of intergovernmental agreement. Excuse me, Mr. Silva.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, good evening. Before we move into this particular action item, We do have a Chief Operating Officer with HomeWise, Ms. Elena Gonzalez, who's going to provide us a executive summary on the recently completed $1.8 million that was obtained and utilized for affordable housing. Elena.
Thank you so much, Mr. Silva, and thank you for listening to this tonight, to Commission. And I wanted to come with good news. You've seen me over a year here and there representing HomeWise, Elena Gonzalez, Chief Growth Officer, just with our nonprofit agency trying to help people get ahead through home ownership. And I came to give my gratitude on behalf of the 60 families that bought a home in your county who live and work here. Thank you to all the commissioners who helped pass this. And if you remember, we were under the gun to help you get this $1.8 million spent when you got it from the Department of Workforce Solutions. I made a commitment to this commission, to the residents of Valencia County, and to the staff who has been absolutely phenomenal. So I wanted to let you know that we started this April 1st, and I trained 23 lenders, a bunch of real estate offices, all of the builders who are building residential homes in Valencia County, and we got 60 families under contract. I gave you just a very short summary, letting you know we did expend all the $1.8 million by June 30th, which was the deadline. So not $1 went unspent. We even oversubscribed by $30,000 for one extra family who really needed it. So HomeWise was able to fund that out of our capital, because we did not want to leave any family behind. So there was actually all of 60 families got into home ownership. I did a quick breakdown for you. New construction, about a third of the borrowers got new construction, which actually resulted in $200,000 more of assistance to these families, because the builders, if you remember, had to kick in $10,000 extra down payment assistance for the family. So it leveraged even more money that went into the community. The $1.8 million, we have assigned all of these mortgages to Valencia County. So you will see that return, recycle. If people sell their house, remember it's due on sale, transfer, or refi, so you now have a revolving affordable housing fund. The rest were resale, about the other 2/3. And the geographic coverage was all over the county, including Belen, Los Lunas, and Rio communities. So I just wanted to give that quick summary, and again, thank the staff, Attorney Pato, everybody who's been involved. I can't tell you how amazing this was. When you have a public-private partnership like this, where we're both after the same mission to help so many families, it works. Thank you so much, and I'll let Mr. Silva continue with his presentation. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Before you leave, so when people sell the house, and where does that money actually go when they, does the county take that money when they sell the house?
Yes,
And it goes back, so do we have an account set up where that money will go back to the county so we can reuse it? Or is it gonna go into our general fund and we just have to, how's that gonna work?
We'll have a tracking mechanism. What you're going to hear coming soon is another allocation. So what we'll do now, under the guidance of our new finance director, we'll actually create some sort of account that tracks these, because I feel like, or I can assume that we'll be receiving these funds for the foreseeable future. And if that's the case, then we'll just put it back into that particular fund.
Thank you, Commissioner Bazell. That's correct. However you do it internally, these repayments will be coming back to the county. But what we had offered to do as part of the contract is help service the loans. Even though they're in your name, we're servicing the loans for the borrowers. Even if they got a new construction with another mortgage company, we're still providing that service for you to service the loans. And so we will also alert you if there's a repayment coming, but you may just get them, and I'll work with you offline to show you how you get those alerts from like title companies. You'll get a payoff. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the commission, again, for the record, we are requesting approval of intergovernmental agreement number 27-631-1111-00009 with the Department of Workforce Solutions to utilize $1.8 million for the county to administer a home buyer assistance program. Valencia County did work with Department of Workforce Solutions on the fiscal year 26 intergovernmental agreement to fully expend the awarded 1.8 million, and as you just heard, successfully closed on 60 mortgages. The Valencia County Grants Department did submit a response to an RFI from the Department of Workforce Solutions for an additional $1.8 million to continue the Valencia County Affordable Housing Program into fiscal year 27 for additional assistance to income qualified individuals purchasing a home in Valencia County. It is anticipated that HomeWise Inc. will continue to administer the Valencia County Affordable Housing Program and work closely with staff to ensure all contractual obligations are met. The total awarded amount, again, is $1.8 million with a reversion date of June 30th, 2027. This agreement does not have a match. We respectfully request consideration of this item and stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Silva?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
with HomeWise, do we have to do any kind of contract because it's over the 60,000? What is there something where we have to go out to bid for this to make? Is that the next item?
Yes, Commissioner Bizel, thank you, sir. Yes, it is. That will be agenda item number 13.
Okay.
Any questions for this agenda?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, oh.
Just real quick, I know we had, in the first round, we were a little bit apprehensive about what it was going to take from your department to administer this. How did that go? Was it doable?
Yeah, with the inclusion of HomeWise and them basically taking the lead, they were able to kind of, as she mentioned, work with the lenders, work with the borrowers, and make our jobs pretty easy as it relates to the contractual obligations set forth in the intergovernmental agreement. So I think moving into this one, we have more time. It's going to be a lot better of a project, but it went really well, given that we only had 3 months.
So I see that they're going to award us another 1.8. Was there any way to get a little bit more from them?
Yes, I do think there's definitely opportunity. The Grants Department did also submit an application for an affordable housing plan update. So I think the direction that we were kind of going with this round was to kind of have a same pot of money, same situation, same set of houses. That way we can show that track record, allow for some funding to come through for the affordable housing plan, and then kind of allow that to happen. That way when we do go back for additional monies, our affordable housing ordinance is updated and then can solidify our future application for more money.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Berry, if I might, if we blow through this $1.8 million like we did the previous $1.8 million, then there certainly is an opportunity this fiscal year to request additional funding from Department of Workforce Solutions. I think that, as head of me has hit on here, they issued an RFP, so they wanted to get interest from around the state for folks who wanted to implement an affordable housing program. And I don't know what their response has been, but I'm sure that once this initial round of funding went out and they have a better lay of the land as to how much funding remains and whether or not there is supplemental funding, then we'll be able to have those conversations with the secretary and see what we can bring back home. Thank you. Sure.
Any other questions, commissioners?
Sure. This is probably not really this action item, but the chairman had expressed concern about, or a desire to use, I don't know, this money or some money like it for home renovation projects. Have we got anywhere on that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, where we are is right now, this 1.8 is going to be implemented and utilized the same way we had implemented and utilized the last. But as Hedemias mentioned, we are working on updating our plan. And as we do that, we hope to include those sorts of programs in the revamp. Our goal was really just to get the money out the door as quick as we possibly could and to demonstrate our need for additional funding. And certainly we've done that, and we continue to do that.
Seems like there's plenty of demand for just this. And just to comment on this, I personally, a guy I work with was one of the recipients of this. It was a really cool program. It was really helpful to him. So I think it was a good deal.
Any additional comments? There being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Pazell? Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Jump in, both of them.
All right, item 13, consideration of an amendment to the professional service grant with HomeWise Inc. as Affordable Housing Program Administrator. Mr. Silva.
Again, for the record, we are requesting consideration to amend the professional services contract for the Affordable Housing Program Administrator. Again, Valencia County did work with HomeWise in fiscal year 2026 to administer the Affordable Housing Program. The county is set to receive an additional award from the Office of Housing for fiscal year 2027. The previous professional services contract with HomeWise has expired, and this amendment will allow for the county to contract with HomeWise for the administration of the Affordable Housing Program into 2027. With that said, I respectfully request consideration of this item and stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Silva?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
so this is a legal, so instead of doing this every year, can we do like a 3-year program where for professional?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, probably not. Our scope of services with HomeWise was limited because of the RFP we had issued. It's going to work for this re-up of the $1.8 million, but it may not necessarily work for other programs that we might ultimately end up implementing. So I think this is the right move for the time being, and then we can visit that or revisit that once we have our new plan.
Okay.
You recommend approval?
Yes, sir. I recommend approval.
Any other questions for Mr. Silva? There being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you.
All right, item 14, consideration of fiscal year 27 Title III Federal and State Subaward. Ms. Hadamia, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners. I stand before you today for consideration for the fiscal year 27 Title III Federal and State Sub-Award for the OAP program. Contract number is 2026-27-628. There would be a contribution of state funding for $500,013,346 from the feds. It'd be $173,277. Over the years, the county has contributed from their funding $500,000. So the total would be $1.186263 to operate the Older Americans program for fiscal year 27. And I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Hadamia?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
so how's the program going? Are we taking care of our seniors?
Absolutely. Yes, we are. Lots of events. The OAP Advisory Board is up and running and very active. So yes, we are taking care of our seniors.
Anything else, Commissioners?
Sure. We'll be able to spend all of the money pretty easily. Is there a
Yes.
shortfall?
There has been a shortfall, and we've been able to take it out of junior bills and some other funding. But we've asked the county to contribute the 500,000 over the last few years. Yes, so expenses have gone up, food, gas, those kinds of things.
Anything else? There being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 15, consideration of the fiscal year 27 Senior Employment Program Host Agency Subaward. Ms. Jaramillo.
Yes, thank you again, Chair and Commissioners. Also for the OAP program, this is for the SEP program. This is where we hire 2 Valencia County seniors to work part-time and hopefully get them trained into a full-time position with the OAP program. This is funded by the state at $26,681 for the fiscal year 27, and I ask for your approval.
Any questions for Ms. Jaramillo? There being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, seconded by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Item 16, consideration of the fiscal year 27 Nutritional Service Incentive Program. Ms. Jaramillo.
Yes, we call this the SIP program, also funded by the state. And this is supplemental monies, if you will, for food. There's a stipulation that these items have to be bought or produced only in the United States. So this $46,491 will supplement the food budget. So we ask for your approval.
Any questions for Ms. Jaramillo? There being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved.
Yes, thank you very much.
Item 17, approval of a resolution, a proclamation calling for general obligation bond questions. Mr. Aragon.
Mr. Chair, today we have some folks from RBC Capital and Catherine McKinney online to discuss general obligation bonds for you guys to consider in this year's election cycle.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Aragon. Good evening, Mr. Chair, County Commissioners. My name is Kaylee Weimerskirch with RBC Capital Markets. I'm here on behalf of Eric Harrigan, who couldn't be here tonight. But the reason why we are here is because in front of you is an election resolution that would allow the county to go forward and ask voters for up to $9 million of general obligation bond authorization across 3 different ballot initiatives that would be presented at the upcoming November 2026 election. As Mr. Aragon had mentioned, Catherine McKinney with Module Sperling Law Firm is also on the line too, and I will hand it off to her to just lightly talk about the resolution in front of you.
Thank you, Kaylee, and Mr. Chair and members of the board. I appreciate you allowing me to appear remotely tonight. Before you is a resolution authorizing the general obligation bond questions to be submitted to the voters at the general election in November. As presented, there are 3 questions to be included: $1 million for public safety for sheriff's and fire department facilities, $4 million for road improvements, and then For the last question, there's $4 million for community facilities. In 22, the commission actually had two different questions related to community facilities that were broken out into the Parks and Rec and then community centers. But this year, the thought was to combine the two to allow flexibility for those funds. So it was included in one question. And other than that, the resolution is substantially in the form that it was for your 22 election. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the resolution or the election process from here.
Any questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
So I have a problem with the one about the recreation facilities. I don't want to mislead people. So because it says swimming pools, I would hate for the constituents to say that they're putting $1 million or $1.5 million for swimming pools and we can't do a swimming pool. You know, I think we need to be kind of more specific. You know, I don't have a problem with the splash pads and the public parks, but I don't want people to say, oh, I voted for a swimming pool and then they don't get one. It makes us look stupid. We're putting that, it's kind of like the bonds for the criminals. I don't want to misrepresent our constituents thinking that they're going to get a swimming pool because that's what they read and that's what they're voting on. Because there's no way, you know.
We're not building a swimming pool, you're correct.
I mean, I just don't want to, I think we need to reword those to make sure that we're not misleading people.
Sure, Mr. Chair. I think, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Bazell, I think you guys are able to kind of finesse the language within there if you want to remove or maybe even add something like including but not limited to that.
Yeah.
You could also add that type of language. I think the other question Catherine had here was previously last year. It was broken out into 4 different questions. One for those specific renovations to those public parks, stuff like that. The other 2 county-owned community centers and buildings. The inclusion of everything in the $4 million to also maybe bring into account the Valencia County Fairgrounds, everything like that. It's I don't know, Ms. McKinney, if you have any suggestion on whether that would be a successful endeavor to go with a larger amount in one single question to include everything, or if we should keep it broken up. I know that was a question I had, but
I think that's really thank you, Jonathan. I think that's really a question for that's difficult to answer and because it depends on what the voters may or may not support. What are their interests? If you feel that by including community centers or something, some voters may not vote for this, or splash pads, some voters may not vote for this. But if you had it in 2 questions, you may have some voters who vote for the splash pad question and one and not for the other. So that's a difficult question to answer if by having it in one question, you're either gaining or losing voters with that question.
Well, I mean, I get what she's saying. I just don't want to misrepresent when people read it and they say, oh, it says, you know, recreational facilities, including public parks, swimming pools, splash pads. To me, when I read that, it sounds like we are going to put money into a swimming pool, and I know we can't do that.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask Ms. McKinney if she's comfortable with removing the word swimming pool from the resolution.
Absolutely, yes.
I don't have a problem with it.
Anything else, commissioners?
Sure. Ms. McKinney, you mentioned maybe combining the last two. So is your recommendation to combine just those last two, the 1.5 for the parks, and then to improve the senior centers and families, or do you recommend the 4 separate questions?
I guess let me see what, so last time there was 1.5 million for, and I can just lay it out, the park and recreational facilities, including public parks, swimming pools, splash pads, sports fields, and other recreational facilities, open space, bike paths, bosky lands, and trails. That was one question. And then the other question related to constructing, equipping, renovate, enhance, and otherwise improve county-owned community centers, including those for families, youth, and senior citizens. So I don't necessarily have a recommendation. I just wanted to be able to provide the commission with the alternatives if it's the desire of the commission to have 4 questions versus 3. The 4 was consistent with the prior election, the 3 being the combining of those last 2 questions from the 22 election.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, if I might maybe throw some thought into this, seen GO bonds be successful and unsuccessful in the past, it may be best to separate those out in fear that, you know, maybe some people are in favor of parks and recreation and some people are in favor of building maintenance. And out of fear of losing it entirely, maybe breaking those out so that people can vote on the things that they care for and they're not tied together. Maybe what you can consider is changing the dollar amount between those 2 questions, if you see fit. But as far as a recommendation, I think it'd probably suit us well to keep those separated out, just in that instance that, you know, maybe some people are for one thing and not the other.
And then Jonathan, just to clarify, the one that here that has it broken out as 4, that was the last one in 2022, and then the new one that would be 3 is the next page. Next 2 pages.
Yeah, the first question is, or the original style or the original capture is page 2. But I think the amounts are the old amounts. So you have up to 9 million. I believe last election we passed 8. So again, if these are continued and voted on, these, if I'm correct, will not be a tax increase. It'll be a continuation.
To second Mr. Aragon, yes. The $9 million total election amount was designed to maintain your current debt service tax rate, which I believe is currently at 70 cents.
So, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, please.
So these all passed in 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Worked that way? Maybe we
Yes.
well enough alone.
Any other comments, commissioners? What are the wishes of the commission?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve with all 4 questions, with the dollar amount being 2 million for each of the last 2 questions, and strike the word swimming pool from the question.
Second?
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
I vote yes as well.
Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-49.
Item 18, selection and submission of hospital board appointees to Brazos Healthcare. Mr. Payne.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm excited to report that progress is moving along in that hospital, and we are looking forward to a groundbreaking on October 9th of this year. And we've been advised that the governor is going to be joining us, and we're very excited about that. In preparation for the hospital opening and commencing services, our operating agreement provides us with the appointment of a seat on that board, the hospital board, the 7-member board that's going to define the vision and purpose and of this hospital. And so a couple weeks back, Jonathan had posted a request for letters of interest to serve on this the hospital governing board. We are what our operating agreement provides is that we would provide 3 names, and Brazos Health Partners will select 1 member from those 3 names. So I now turn it over to the board for consideration of the letters of interest that we received, and I stand for any questions of the board.
Any questions,
Chair? I'm reading through some of these submissions here. If I remember correctly, the advertisement or the ask was for non-medical people without a medical background. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Richardson, I pulled it up just a moment ago so I would have it available for discussion, and I have it right here. So what we said was we were seeking letters of interest from qualified individuals interested in being considered for nomination to serve on the Board of Trustees. We'll submit 3 nominees to Brazos Health Partners, from which 1 individual will be selected. Applicants must be non-physician members, you got it right, Commissioner Richardson, non-physician members of the local community and may not be members of the Valencia County Board of County Commissioners, so you can't appoint yourselves. The Hospital Board of Trustees serves as the hospital governing body consistent with applicable regulatory and accreditation requirements. Responsibilities include adopting the hospital's vision, mission, values, participating in the review of operating and capital budgets and facility planning in an advisory capacity, monitoring quality and performance improvement, supporting physician recruitment, fostering community relations, granting medical staff privileges, and performing other duties designated by Brazos Health Partners. And we encourage folks with backgrounds in healthcare, business, finance, law, education, public service, nonprofit governance, and other leadership experience to apply.
So that letter said non-physician.
That's correct, non-physician.
An RN is not a physician, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Mr. Chair, Dave, when do we need to submit this by? Are we under any sort of timeline for this?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Berry, yes, they've asked, things are starting to ramp up and they want to put their board together and have that ready to go. And as we go through this licensure process, they've asked me for several months now to get this before you. So I dragged my feet a little bit. So I ask that you, if possible, can move forward with that appointment. If not, then maybe give it 1 additional week if necessary and do it at that time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, one other thing to consider. We received 1 application. It's going to be the last application in your group that was received, I believe, on Monday after the deadline. So if you want to consider that or remove that from consideration since it did not meet the deadline, I don't know if that's necessary, but
Mr. Chairman, that's completely in the board's discretion.
One other question, Dave, did we highlight that it needed to be Las Lunas resident or I'm sorry, a Valencia County resident?
No, we did not.
Because there are a couple folks from Albuquerque in this group.
Commissioners. I would say we should submit to Brazos everybody who lists address that's in Valencia County. I don't know if that's how many of that is, but there's like the first initial ones are not in Valencia County.
I did, Mr. Chair, I did notice that one of the applicants appears that they're from Albuquerque, but in there it mentions that they live in Valencia County. So I don't know why the address is there, but this specific person works with one of the organizations that we partner with.
Okay.
Um,
With that being the exception, then I would get rid of everybody else who's not in Valencia County. But that's my opinion. I'm open to suggestions.
What did we get? 5 applicants or 6? 6, maybe. Chair?
Yes.
I'm not sure that I would be able to make any, I don't know if there's anybody I could not recommend here. I don't know any of these people personally. I'd hate to leave somebody out. You know, I haven't met any of these people. I think it's possible. I think my recommendation would be to send all of these to Brazos.
Mr. Chair, and a bit of background information as well. Speaking with the CEO of the hospital, you know, they're new to our community. They're looking to become, you know, really good partners within our community, but they don't know the county like y'all do either. So they are in search of their own names. They said they'd be amenable to as many applicants as you could provide. And they will make those determinations on whether that person is a good fit or not.
Any other thoughts, commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I kind of agree with Commissioner Richardson. I don't know any of these people, and I'm not in the medical industry or the hospital industry, so I wouldn't want to make a bad decision eliminating somebody that might be qualified.
Anything else? All right.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to extend the invitation to all 6 to Bravo to let them make the decision.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Brazell, seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion or second?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just have clarification on it, that's going to include both those that live within the county and those that live outside the county. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Brazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We will submit those.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, time now for our public hearing. So we're going to take each one of these individually. So I'll call up the number and give the description, and you'll be sworn in by a clerk if you're giving testimony for or against the zone change. So the first one, the public hearing item. The first one is the solar field overlay zone. Mr. Bakken will present. Anybody who's giving testimony for or against this, please stand and be sworn in by the clerk.
You swear or affirm that this testimony you will give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of law, so help you God?
Mr. Bakken.
Good evening, Chairman Commissioners. Before you this evening is a request for the solar field overlay zone number 2026-016. This is District 3, Planning and Zoning Commissioner Moran, BOCC Sparkman, U.S. Solar Development LLC requests a solar field overlay zone, SFOZ. This request was heard by the Planning and Zoning Department on April the 28th. At that meeting, it was recommended by the board to be approved with a vote of 4-0. At that meeting, there was no public comment in favor or in opposition of this request. Since the packets were submitted to the commission, we did receive a letter from the property owner who is going to be leasing the property of the solar company. I made copies for you guys if you would like to get a copy of this as well. And Chairman, Commissioners, the applicant is here to present for you as well.
We're ready for the applicant.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Haley Ballantyne. I'll be presenting for this request here today. We did have a slight amendment to the site plan for this project. We have updated maps here, if I can pass those out just for discussion purposes, so there's clarity for you guys. I'm losing control of my mouse here. There we go. All right. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Haley Ballantyne. I am a senior project developer with US Solar. I am here today on behalf of US Solar to request approval of the solar field overlay zone for the USS Belen Community Solar Project. I know the letter that was passed out to you today was not included in your packets. I'm happy to read that letter at one point in my presentation, or I can leave it up to you to review during executive session. Either one, whichever works for you.
You can do your presentation. We have the copies.
Sounds good. Thank you. So the Belen Community Solar Project, if this is approved here today, it will be bid into the second round of the New Mexico Community Solar Program. Before I get into the specifics of the Belen project, I wanted to take some time just to review the Community Solar Program itself, its purpose, and how Valencia County can continue to benefit from having these projects within your community. So in April of 2021, the state of New Mexico passed the Community Solar Act. This established a community solar program for New Mexico residents, businesses, and municipal entities. The purpose of this program is to provide bill credit savings for New Mexicans, to bring investment to local communities, and generate electricity locally to help reduce energy costs for the state. So this is how it works. First, the Community Solar Project generates electricity, which is sent on to the local distribution grid. This electricity is then used directly by energy users near the project. At the same time, PNM meters the energy output and allocates bill credits to the energy bills of those customers who subscribe to the project. These subscribers pay a discounted rate for the bill credits, which effectively reduces the overall cost of their energy bill, saving households hundreds of dollars each year. Now, the Belen Community Solar Project is a 2 megawatt AC solar PV array. This project will produce an average of 5.8 million kilowatt hours of electricity each year, which for comparison is enough to power about 600 households annually. The project will reside entirely on 3 parcels of land, which are privately owned and are being leased to US Solar. Each parcel is 5 acres for a total of 15 acres under lease. As you can see, the solar array will not take up the full 15 acres, and the fenced-in area will likely only be about 10 acres. The access road and the point of interconnection with PNM's distribution grid will be off of Jensen Lane. We are making a slight adjustment to the site plan to have the access road and the POI be on the north side of the project, as you can see on your maps that we provided. This allows the POI for the project to be closer to the existing 3-phase PNM distribution line, and it also makes the access road further from the residences that are on the south side of the project. So the project fence will be set back 35 feet from the public road and from all property boundaries. We've also updated the fencing for this project to be a 7-foot chain link fence per the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Now, the photo shown on the screen is from another project that we constructed down in Lordsburg, so this will be the same fence that's utilized for this project. Once construction is complete, the site is reseeded with a native seed mix, which follows recommendations of New Mexico DOT for this region of the state. This will ensure that the native vegetation returns to the site and continues to grow over the lifespan of the project. So after reviewing the county maps, we did identify a few residences nearby, with the closest being just over 360 feet to the south of the property line. I have personally reached out to these landowners and already spoken to some of them. A few of them are here in attendance today. We did this because we wanted to provide a chance for folks to ask questions, learn more about the project, and speak to them directly so we can address any concerns up front and early. One of the main concerns that landowners have voiced is whether proximity to the project will lead to a decrease in property value. There have been numerous independent studies performed by researchers, county assessors to investigate the impact that solar has on property values. The collective result of this research indicates that proximity to a solar array does not deter sales of agricultural or residential land and does not directly correlate to a decrease in the value of surrounding properties. Ultimately, the impact of a solar project on property values should be looked at in the context of what is the alternative use for the parcel. These types of solar projects do not resemble a commercial or industrial use as a large utility scale project might. There are no storefronts or light pollution, and once construction is complete, there is no noise, odor, or dust, and there are no municipal utilities or increases in traffic. Because the solar field overlay zone is removed when the project is decommissioned, having the solar project here actually helps to maintain the rural nature of the area. Now, when building community solar projects in New Mexico, our team carries a few key priorities. The first is to hire local. All of our projects are actually co-owned by a resident New Mexico EPC company called Sol Luna, based out of Dixon, New Mexico. Together, we work very hard to ensure that these jobs are given to local New Mexico subcontractors. We make every effort to ensure that everything from the civil and electrical work to the fencing installation is performed by local businesses. Second, we ensure that we are thorough in our development due diligence and operate projects that have a positive impact on the community for the long run. This includes everything from permitting and environmental studies to proper operations and maintenance procedures. This process allows us to assess any impacts that the project may have and come up with plans to mitigate them. Third is to coordinate directly with neighbors to minimize impacts and address concerns early on in the process. And lastly is to align with the community's development goals. Valencia County's solar field overlay zone has 4 key objectives: to promote the use of underutilized land, to further economic development, promote employment opportunities within Valencia County, and help diversify energy production and diversify the local economy. The Belen Community Solar Project contributes to each of these goals, and we believe it will be a valuable asset for your community. I would like to hand it over now to Carla Melendez from our team so she can share more about the financial benefits that community solar can bring to Valencia County.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman and members of the Commission. My name is Carla Melendez, and I lead community partnerships for U.S. Solar here in New Mexico. But before I begin, I'd like to mention that something that's really personal to me, me and my spouse just bought our first home here in Valencia County recently. So I'm not just here as the representative of U.S. Solar, I am also your constituent. The success and long term of the county matters to me personally, as it is my home now. My role at U.S. Solar is focused on making sure that benefits of community solar actually stay in the community and they reach the people that they're intended to serve. Today, we're already seeing those benefits here in Valencia County through our Meadow Lake Community Solar Garden. That project is expected to generate approximately $831,000 in property tax revenue over its lifetime, along with more than $500,000 in gross receipts tax during its first year of construction. And those are dollars that stay local and help support county services and infrastructure as well. We're also proud to have partnered with Belen Consolidated School District, which is projected to save roughly $1.33 million over the next 25 years. That's about $53,000 every year, and those savings can be redirected to classrooms, teachers, students, instead of utility costs. Perhaps most importantly, 185 income qualified households right here in Valencia County are already enrolled and are expected to save an average of about $291 per year of their electric bills. And for many families, that may not sound like a life-changing amount of money, but when you're choosing between groceries, school supplies, or your electric bill, those savings really do make a difference. The proposed USS Belen project allows us to build on the success that we've already seen. One of the things I'm most excited about is that Valencia County residents will receive a 4-month priority enrollment period. Specifically for income qualified households. That means that local families will have the first opportunity to benefit before enrollment opens up more widely. The project also transforms current vacant land into a productive community asset that's expected to generate approximately $750,000 in tax revenue over the life of the project, while producing clean electricity right here in Valencia County for local energy users. From my perspective, that's what community solar is really about. It's about creating local economic benefits, reducing energy costs for working families, supporting our schools, generating new tax revenue without placing any additional burden on residents. And then keeping, of course, the benefits of that clean energy local here where it's produced. Thank you for your consideration and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, commissioners? I do have one. I saw it said there was were you approved the pre-FAA? How did that work out with the airport being closed?
Yeah, so the airport is located directly north of the project. We did do a pre-screening through the FAA's screening tool, and prior to starting construction, we have to notify the FAA, but we weren't located within a flight path, so the notice period happens closer towards construction, but we did do that pre-screening, and we've also gone through the required glare studies, and there were no adverse impacts that were shown in those studies.
Mr. Chair? So do you guys go around and looking for sites that best fit you? Is that how you choose your process?
Yeah, so we have, what we do is we use a GIS mapping system, and so we will look in the area, and the first thing that we screen for is location to the utility infrastructure, so it has to be within P&M service territory. That's a requirement of the community solar program. So that's the first thing we look for, and then after that we look at both zoning as well as any water features, more just suitability of the actual land to put a project on. So we're looking for, flat land, no obstructions, things like that, and then once we go through those screenings, then we will send mailers out to landowners in the area that fit that criteria, and then they give us a call back if they're interested.
So one question that I have, did you guys ever look at commercial parking lots, say like Walmart or other facilities where we're not?
Yeah.
That way, because if you go down to like Tier C and you go to their Walmart, it's beautiful covered parking.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that way residents are not driving down the freeway and complaining about solar fields or houses. It's already in a commercial area. Businesses might actually love it because they get covered parking, doesn't mess up their, it's more eye-pleasing because there's already something there. Do you guys ever look at stuff like that?
Sure. For the community solar program, it's difficult to look towards projects like that because the cost of building a project on a carport is significantly higher, like millions and millions of dollars higher, because the community solar program requires us to provide a certain discount and a certain amount of benefit to low-income subscribers. The balance of build costs versus the economic benefit that we're required to provide, we look towards more of the rural and the flatter land that is not a carport. So for this particular program, no, though I do agree with you from a sustainable development standpoint, the carports they're great. They're incredibly expensive to build. So for this use case, it doesn't work very well.
One thing that I liked about, I don't think we've ever, since I've been doing this, nobody's ever said would give us a time limit on priority, saying, Valencia County is going to get 4 months priority over everybody else.
Yeah.
They always just sit there and say, yeah, we'll let you guys have, but they never give a timer. Is there any way you do 6 months? Give us a little bit longer for Valencia County residents to step up?
I mean, yeah, I think the 4-month period was just based on something that we did in another community. So we're happy to look at increasing that timeline if it would be
I just
workable.
want our people,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to take care of our people first. So, I mean,
Absolutely. And I think that, we've been here before and have heard from community members and from this commission. And I think that we completely agree. The whole point of this program is to benefit New Mexicans. And I think when a community is hosting a project, they should have the opportunity to both benefit from, the cleaner air and everything, as well as the economic benefit. And that should stay within the community that's hosting a project.
love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair? Out of curiosity, what's the total cost to build this project? What's construction cost?
That's a great question. For a 2 megawatt project, probably like $2 to $3 million, I would say.
And there were a few people who were sworn in. Well, we're good for right now.
Okay, I was gonna clarify that number really quick. That also includes like procurement and all of the build materials as well as the labor costs.
Perfect, thank you. There's a few people who are sworn in. If you don't mind coming up one at a time and you can give us your testimony.
So I am one of the property owners near the site.
And then if you wouldn't mind, when you get up to the mic, just state your name, please, for the record. Thank you.
My name is Belinda Guernsey. I own 2 lots near the site. One is undeveloped, which is directly catty corner from the array field. And then one site south of that, which has 2 properties on it, 42 Jensen Lane and 44 Jensen Lane. One of the questions I have is it looks like they're tying into the power lines, which the end of that line is at my property. I've got 2 transformers on that line, and then my neighbor has another. I'm curious to know what impact to the line, to the transformers that this will have. The other thing I'm concerned about is based off of the solar fields I see going up I-25, there's lots of containers full of panels, lots of bulldozers. My question is, where will they be doing the construction and storing the construction equipment? As it is pretty close to our properties, worried about, the dust and all of that. The third thing is, is there any RF energy radiation that would adversely affect our properties? Will these solar panels this farm potentially raise the temperature locally in the area? It's up on that plateau, so it does get pretty hot. It sounds like that there was some information which says that it's not going to impact our property values. I'm not sure if I'm totally convinced of that. So it'd be nice to have some of these questions answered before it's approved.
Sure. And then just one question for you. Did you receive a certified letter regarding the zone change?
Yes, I did. About 2 weeks ago, they said that the meeting last Wednesday was canceled and moved to this tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, would you like to answer some of her questions, please? Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just make sure I can cover all of this. So For construction to start, so the construction of the solar project takes about 5 to 7 months for a project of this size. The construction materials will be stored on the site. So the first thing that gets constructed is the fence. There will be a couple storage containers that will be located on this site. Because we've moved the access road to the north side of the project, the containers will be on that north side. That will be where the temporary storage area will remain. So that will be, we could look at a map and see how far, but that will be located further away from Ms. Guernsey's property. So that will help a lot with, any traffic during construction, any dust, things like that. When it comes to dust mitigation, we use a very thorough process for mitigating dust. Up in this area, because there is already, fairly limited vegetation on the site, instead of grading the entire site, what we do is we go through with a disker, and it'll break up the vegetation and then just kind of tamp it back down into the ground. That helps with dust mitigation. And then we also use a biodegradable binder that we mix with water. So it uses less water, but the binder also creates it binds so it doesn't release a bunch of dust into the air during construction. So those are the things that we do. Additionally, I know it gets windy. This is largely a problem for the southern part of our state, but it happens up here too with wind. We do have stoppage of construction at certain miles per hour, so that, if it gets too windy and dust starts blowing, we have to stop activity to mitigate dust as well in the area. But most of the dust creating activity, that really only happens within the first, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks of a project. The rest of the construction of a facility, it's stringing wires on panels, mounting the panels onto the piles, things like that. So there's not a lot of civil. It happens really early on in the process. In terms of the property value assessments, we've seen, so those are done through, the ones that we look at, they're independently done through county assessors. The industry does not, we can perform them, but we opt to utilize and, reference the ones that are done by county assessors. We've had county assessors in New Mexico do those as well. So those are ones that we tend to rely on to provide information like this. There's no correlation in a decrease, especially in a rural area like this. I think that was all of unless any of you recall an additional question.
Mr.
About the radiation. And
Oh, yes,
stuff
the
like
EMFs,
that,
yes.
And the transformers.
Yeah, for sure. So the project will interconnect to the PNM distribution lines, which are actually running east-west further north of the project. I don't know if you're connected to the, are you on PNM?
We're on PNM, but
Okay.
that's a separate
Distribution line.
Is a separate line.
Okay.
It's higher voltage.
Yeah, so we'll be interconnecting to the 3-phase distribution line that's on the north side. You guys might be on the single-phase line, so we wouldn't impact that single-phase line. PNM manages all of the interconnection, so it's, they have a safety procedure that they go through when we connect the project. They will, be able to import electricity from other parts of the grid when we're interconnecting if we have to, take energy off at any point. So there's no disruption to service at all during commissioning. And then with regard to the EMFs, so the solar panels themselves don't emit any type of electromagnetic field at all. The only infrastructure that might would be the transformers associated with the project. Those transformers are the same ones that, are used all over the place. You see them, next to the road, next to the highway. It's the same piece of infrastructure. So those already exist and those do produce EMFs, but they're significantly lower than anything that would be a harm to human health. They're well below background levels. Power lines emit EMFs, your microwave emits an EMF. It's all, low enough that it's background levels and things that, we're exposed to every day with our typical electric infrastructure that already exists. So it wouldn't be adding anything additional.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, can I ask you about the screening and fencing? So what do you anticipate doing by way of fencing, and will it be screened so that way it's not visible from adjoining properties?
So the fencing itself is just it's just a 7-foot chain link fence. I think they're used on most solar projects in the area, so they're pretty standard. In terms of screening, we don't propose any upfront, but if we have landowners in the area that are concerned about that, we can work with neighboring landowners to provide screening. I will say the one difficult thing about screening here, and we're working actually with some local contractors and vegetation specialists, is that vegetative screening is difficult to establish because there's not water on these sites. They're designed that way to, we're not drilling a well because water can be used elsewhere because these projects don't need water. So that's one thing, but we do work with neighbors on the screening for sure.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, would you be amenable to agreeing to screening here to the slats or something like that, so that way the neighbors, the adjoining property owners here wouldn't have to look at those solar units?
Yeah, I would say a more suitable screening method here might be a different type of fence that would provide the same security, but might, block visuals a little bit better. I know Belinda, you guys are to the south and then across the street. The neighbors directly to the south of this project actually own I don't know if they own, but they do work for Valley Fence Company, and I spoke with them on the phone. They've worked on a lot of solar projects in the area, so they actually wanted to provide fencing for the project. It's really early on to choose subcontractors, but yes, we would work with folks on fencing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And just so they would know, because of the construction, what would be the construction time that you're looking at as far as like the dirt work and all that stuff where the dust?
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks for that?
Yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks for the civil, like actual earthwork, where they would be, cutting any vegetation that was too high and then putting in the soil binder. So yeah, the first 2 to 3 weeks, but the rest of it, it's a lot of electrical work on these projects, and that just, there's 5 to 10 folks that are just walking around on the site that are performing that work. So the big earthwork is done early on and doesn't take the full 5 to 7 months.
Did you have any follow-up questions, Mike? And I need you to state your name and then let us know if you received a certified letter in the mail.
My name is David Garcia. I received a certified letter 2 weeks ago, canceled last week. Now it's on this week. I've worked for Valley Fence Company for 40 years, and we have provided some of your solar power plants fencing around there. Now there are other options as far as screening that we can give those different options, and one of them is the slats, as somebody mentioned. But I don't know how many here live 300 feet away from a solar array farm. I would be living 300 feet away from a solar array farm. I don't want it for that reason. I've been up there over 16 years. I've got 4 houses 300 feet away from where this solar array is going to be. 300 feet is not a lot, especially when you're in an open field. That in the city it's a little different, but there is a lot of vegetation. It's all vegetation actually. It's covered with vegetation. It's a natural vegetation. Now you said there's a binder in the soil or something. What does that do?
We add the binder to
Which does what?
it basically.
You need to come up to the microphone if you're going to answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the soil binder is it sounds kind of odd. It's made out of beet juice. So it actually binds with the soil and it creates the crust that's required so that the native vegetation can come back. Okay. The reason that we use the disking method for the vegetation that already exists on the site is so that a lot of the seeds and a lot of the vegetation will grow back over time. A lot of times on these solar arrays, because there's shade from the panels, that vegetation has a lot better chance of coming back because of the shade. There's better water retention. We also have, when we apply our seed mix at the end, which just kind of helps bolster the native vegetation to return, we have a local company that helps bring in, it's cool. It creates little pockets in the soil so that the water, anytime it rains, will stay on the site. So it's an erosion control method, and that also helps bring the native vegetation back. So those are kind of the things that we've been working on in the state specifically.
And you're saying bring it back after construction or after you guys are gone in 35 years?
We have to reseed both when we decommit. We have to reseed when we finish construction, and then once we pull it out, we have to reseed again.
Okay.
Yep.
So when they do put the fence up, there is a screen you could put on there. It's called a whip project where it cuts down on, we do that on construction sites. That way, when they do cause dust in the area, the wind doesn't take it. Because once the wind takes the dust, I mean, you can't see 15, 20 feet in front of you up there. So we really don't like the dust in that area, especially during this construction. So whether they put slats or not, I think a windscreen around it that can come down afterwards would help a lot. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't want this 300 feet from my house. When is construction going to start if it goes through?
So as I mentioned in the beginning, the process here, it approves the solar field overlay zone and the permit. Once that is approved, then that allows us to move forward and submit it into the second phase of the community solar program. The project would still have to be selected under that program in order to move forward. If that were the case and say it goes forward, the construction of this project probably wouldn't happen until late 2028 or 2029 is probably most likely.
Thank you. So I got, like I said, I'm 300 feet from where this is going to be. There's a 300-foot land between where the solar arrays proposed. I have 4 houses up there. I moved up there because it's in the country. That's where I wanted to live. And even though this solar array would be there, no people in that area, which is good. But I just don't like. I'm not gonna like the visual waking up. I woke up for 16 years, and I look out. We sit on the porch, and it's rabbits and cows. I saw a bear once, and I mean, it's nice. I just don't know what this is gonna do for us visually. And for having 4 houses on 4 acres, 300 feet away from this, what it's going to do for us on property values. Those are my concerns.
Is there anybody else who'd like to give testimony on this? And yes, you're more than welcome to come back up. If you come back to the microphone, just so we can get you on the record.
Can we look up, it sounded like the property values are going to be handled through Valencia County Assessor's Office. When will that assessment be made, and will we have access to it?
Mr. Chairman.
Please.
I'm scared Adrian will probably know better when it'll be made, but I would say that that all property owners receive a notice of values, which represents the assessor's value of that property. So when do they do their notices of values?
The notice of value, it's assessed on legally it's assessed January 1st of any year. So when they actually do them, I don't know, but generally the notice of value is going to come out in March or April. So that's when it would be available.
So the first change that we will see will be in January?
That's when they will assess the property. So the first change you will see will be based on that assessment, which will be, you'll see that in March or April after the January.
Another note, they said a lot of, they're going to provide seeding for the vegetation. There's a lot of sagebrush up there, and that's probably not going to be real compatible with the solar arrays. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please.
There is a lot of land up there. I don't know if you guys have been up there past the airport. There is a lot of land. And I don't understand why it has to be 300 feet away from property instead of a quarter mile, which is 1,200 feet away from property. There's a lot of land up there, and I don't know how feasible it is to put it 1,200 feet away from anyone's property, because there's plenty of land to do that, I believe.
Thank you. Anybody else who'd like to give testimony on this item? There being none. Yes, Mr. Buckner.
Chairman, Commissioners, I just wanted to provide a little clarification on the certified letter that was sent. The two individuals that did speak did not receive a certified letter from Valencia County for this specific request. US Solar went beyond what our typical legal obligation is, and they reached out to these individuals. They received a letter from US Solar, not from the county, so they do not have standing on this particular matter. They're beyond the 300 feet. They're, I want to say, over about 350 feet, so it is beyond the 300-foot notification that we send.
Thank you, Mr. Buck.
You're welcome.
We will make a decision on this after our after our executive session. Item number 20, zone change 2026-032. If anybody's going to give testimony on this for or against, please stand now to be sworn in by the clerk. Sir, are you talking about the zone change for
20? I just kind of
okay.
thought you guys were done.
Understood.
You swear or affirm this testimony you'll give in this case will be the whole truth and not the whole truth. Let me try that again. You swear to or affirm that this testimony you'll give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of law, so help you God?
I do. I'm a little hard of hearing, just to let you guys know, okay? So,
So we'll start with Mr. Baca first, and then we'll get to you.
Let me just introduce it. And then
sure, go right ahead.
Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. Before you this evening is a request for for zone change number 2026-032. This is District 2, PNZ Commissioner Freeman, BOCC Richardson. Santiago Gallegos requests a zone change from Agricultural Preservation AP to Rural Residential District 2, RR2, to subdivide the land into 4 parcels. Legal description as read on the agenda. This was heard by our Planning and Zoning Commission also on April the 28th. At that meeting, it was recommended for approval with a vote of 4-0. There was no public in favor or in opposition of this request at that time. And we have included in your packet one letter in favor from the town of Tomé land grant. And the applicant has his representative here to present for you this evening. Thank you.
Please, sir. And if you don't mind, state your name for the record, please.
What's that, sir?
State your name for the record.
My name is Filimon Gallegos. I'm Santiago's father. He's out of town, out of the country, actually, so I'm representing him.
Was there anything else that you wanted to make known to us right now, or any other?
No, sir, I'm just here to see what you guys say or questions you might have.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chair? I believe I read in the minutes from the P&Z meeting, this property does not have any water rights associated with it?
Does not have any water rights, sir. Haven't had for 20 years.
Okay. No.
Sir, one question. How did you get the land grant to give you a letter? A little bit louder, sir. What's the secret on that? What's that? What's the secret you got to get the land grant? Hold on, do you mind? I was teasing. I said, what's the secret to get a letter from the land grant? My son
support.
is an active member of the land grant. Oh, okay. So that's fine. I've been in the family for years, generations, so we just plan on keeping it in the family, and we just want to prep everything now. So my grandkids have some place to live or whatever that would be ready for. Okay.
Any other questions, commissioners? All right, we'll make a decision on this after our executive session. You're good. Thank you.
It's approved? Okay, thank you, sir.
But thank you for coming up here.
You got to give me a visual on this. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, last public hearing item is item 21, Conejo Waste Transfer Station. If anybody's giving testimony for or against this, please stand to be sworn in by the clerk.
You swear or affirm that this testimony in this case you will give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of law, so help you God?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, our ask is for a rate increase at Conejo. It's not for the collectors at the homes. It's based on, we have not had a rate increase in many, many years. We just built a brand new 25,000 square foot facility. It's got 7 double wide doors on it. The average time is less than 10 minutes on a busy day for the cars to go through. And Normally during the week, there's not any wait at all. The fuel has gone up, labor has gone up, prices of equipment have gone up. The industry standards, Lincoln County is $35 a yard. Belen is down to $12 a yard. Our ask is to be $5 a yard. So it's still on the low end, and I think Valencia County at the end of the day is increasing their service, and we're honored to do business here.
Any questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chair?
Please.
It's more of a comment. I've been up there and I've used the facility. It's great. The only complaint I have is there a way we could, you guys could start taking wood and like trees where you can mulch it up? Because I know that it's kind of heavy and you guys are doing a great job with the metal and all that stuff, but I know a lot of people will have that wood.
I think that's a great question. The answer to that is right now we can't because it's a registered facility and we can only take so many volumes. But we are going to a permitted facility that should be done by the end of the year. And we did that with anticipation of the growth of the county, and we won't have any limits on it. So we're addressing that.
Anything else, commissioners?
Mr. Chair, how's it going with the transfer station being closed on Sundays and through the week? Is it been smoother?
Yeah, it's a lot smoother for us. Our employees really appreciate the break. We've had one complaint, and it was from a commercial hauler that goes around picking up 5 or 6 trailers in the area, but it didn't work out for him, but it's working out for everybody else.
Anything else, commissioners? Thank you, Mr. Russell.
Thank you for your time.
All right, that concludes our public hearing section. Now we're on to executive session. Mr. Dance.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, pursuant to section 1015(1)H, the following matters may be discussed in closed session under H3, administrative adjudicatory proceedings, solar field overlay zone 2616 and zone change 2632. Under collective bargaining, 1015(1)H5, IAFF local 539, AFSCME council 18 blue collar, AFSCME council 18 detention, and FOP Lodge 14. Additionally, under both real property and pending or threatening litigation pursuant to the 2015 Inspection of Public Records Act guide, we have moved the item regarding the acceptance of road viewers report and consideration to vacate the road known as Allsup Circle to executive session.
Need a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, seconded by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
I vote yes. We'll be back.
Hey, David. Need to pick up another hobby. Well, it's less costly.
Oh, what's one more?
Oh, yeah. Let's see, that's number 6, right?
7.
Oh.
7.
Oh.
This will be number 7.
Okay, at this time, I need a motion to reconvene.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any motion or discussion on this motion and second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, excuse me.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Dance, would you report our executive summary?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the items discussed in executive session were limited to those in the motion for closure, specifically solar field overlay zone 2616, zone change 2632, under collective bargaining, IAFF, blue collar detention, and FOP Lodge 14. Additionally, under real property and pending or threatening litigation pursuant to Section 58 of the Open Meetings Act guide, we discussed the Allsups Loop Road. No final action was taken.
Got a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Bazell, seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson? Yes. Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, action item number 2, approval of solar field overlay zone 2026-016. Mr. Bucket?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. Before you is the request for the approval of solar field overlay zone number 2026-016, as heard earlier during public hearing, and I do stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Bucket?
Mr. Chair, I have a quick question. This came up during executive session. Just out of curiosity, you know, we approved 40 of something of these 2 years ago, and I know that that zoning is about to expire. Is there a reason that somebody's not just renewing those, you know, taking advantage of that zoning and using those sites?
Yeah, Chairman, Commissioners, so we do have a time frame on these solar field overlays of 24 months for development to commence. If development is not significantly commenced within that 24-month period, they can apply for an extension of up to a year. So we have had some that did apply for that first year, and we'll actually be having another individual come back on next month who got approved back in 2021. They didn't, I think they had the initial extension, but that wasn't enough to get them into this second round. So now they're coming back. We just didn't feel it was enough. It was a close enough time frame to keep extending that and not allow the current public residents to come out and speak let their voices be heard, essentially, and let you guys reevaluate this. There's some new commissioners on the board as well at this time, so it felt right to bring this in front of you guys for a public hearing once again.
Okay, just curiosity. I'm good.
Since it's my district, I'm going to make the motion to approve with the caveat that we include the mesh or the slats or whatever to improve the fencing around the property.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Giselle?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Action item 23, approval of zone change 2026-032. Mr. Baca.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is the request for the approval of zone change number 2026-032, as heard earlier in public hearing. And once again, I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Bucket? There being none, Commissioner Richardson, since it's in your district, what's your recommendation?
Sure, I move to approve the zone change as requested.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rizzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, action item 24, approval of resolution amending the fees charged at the Conejo transfer station. Mr. Aragon.
Mr. Chair, I think Mr. Byers captured everything that he was looking for at these fee increase, relating it to increases in fuel, other cost of living increases, stuff like that.
Any questions for Mr. Aragon? There being none, is there a motion to approve as presented?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bazell, seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And then the last one is item 10 that we had discussed. Mr. Dance? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-50.
50?
50?
50 in the last, the resolution from earlier was 17.
And,
I didn't hear.
49.
and Mr. Chairman, if we might be able to, if you'd look into that while I ask my next question of the chair. Mr. Chairman, this resolution that you have before you for the solid waste has a blank for the effective date. So this board is required to designate an effective date, and we didn't want to take a guess at it. So if someone might amend their motion to include that effective date, that these fees would take effect, I'd be appreciative.
Mr. Chair,
Random date?
I'd like to make a motion that I amend my motion to make an effective date of August 1st.
Sounds good.
Second. Any discussion on motion or second? There being none, Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you for that. I apologize for not having caught that earlier.
Before we proceeding with this change, before we have it signed. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the resolution is 2026-50.
Okay.
Mr. Mylum, what was the resolution number for 17? Was it 49 then?
Correct.
That's right, got 17.
All right, and then last item is item 10. Mr. Nance, if you'd like to go ahead and address that.
Certainly. Mr. Chairman, I think the county would like to thank the Committee of Freeholders for their hard work and service to the county. This road at issue is not a county-maintained road, and there is not sufficient evidence to support a determination that the road is otherwise a public road. Accordingly, I do not believe that action is appropriate.
What are the wishes of the commission? There being no motion, there being no action.
Yeah. Do we need to have this typed in, the effective date, before they sign it?
You can write it in.
Okay.
Okay.
He can write it in.
A couple reminders, we will be having a special budget meeting next Wednesday, the 29th, here in the chambers at 5 p.m. and also on Facebook Live. And then our next business meeting will be August 5th at 5 p.m. Here in the chambers and also via Facebook Live. Are there any closing comments by fellow commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, just one reminder about Friday, August 25th. The county will be open, but our systems will be down between 8 and noon that morning.
There's nothing else. We are adjourned.
Oh, yeah, look, Dave.
You too. Understand you.
It's written in.
Oh, is it?
It's had a little place.